So I gotta be honest with you guys, I give credit where credit is due. I totally do. And Sakura deserves it this chapter, regardless of what happened after the fact where the little baby Juby shit came out. Ultimately, she came and she fucked shit up. She did some good shit, honestly. So I will give Sakura credit. This is the first time in this Naruto Gaiden spinoff that she gets credit. And honestly, this is one of my favorite things Sakura has done, period, since the original Naruto. I will say that as well, because it was just like, these are the main threat as of right now, and she came in. Awesome little line as well, try touching my husband and my daughter again, which kind of showcases that, yeah, they are indeed, or, were indeed, but most likely are married and whatnot, her saying my husband, and at the same time, it was just epic as shit. Like, she came in and saved the day for Naruto and Sasuke, so credit as a motherfucker for that one. I will say it. Good shit, Sakura. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah. Now, this chapter, one thing that definitely gotta say, and this has been par for the course for Naruto Gaiden, very fast-paced. But this one just felt a little bit too fast-paced for my taste to a certain degree, in the sense of, like, this fight was wrapped up all within this chapter mainly. Like, it was just like, it started, and, Sasuke came in whipping ass, which, by the way, we saw him use the Rinnegan again, so that showcases, I believe, both of them, Naruto and Sasuke, still have the powers they obtained when they fought against Kaguya, or when they fought against Madara, the Sage of Six Paths powers, because he uses Rinnegan, and you could see that. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, now, and I know this is always going to be a debate unless we actually get to see a showcase yet again, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sasuke has surpassed Naruto because of the simple fact that Naruto has been lax. While Sasuke was going in, while Sasuke was giving it to Shin and Shin, thing number one, number two, Naruto got a sword to the stomach. Granted, he didn't know their eye capabilities, but nonetheless, that showcases that Naruto's been too chill. He has been enjoying peace too much. While Sasuke's been on this mission, trying to get this info, still keeping up to date with what he has to do, Naruto's been filing paperwork and sending clones to play with his son. So, the big debate, I guess if you want to add another statistic to it, Naruto seemingly has been rusty. Even Kurama was like, yo, bro, you kind of crusty right now. Yeah, maybe Sasuke has, since he kept up with it, surpassed Naruto. Also, finding out the fact that Shin and his father have the same name, it could be that they're both creations. It could be that Shin is a creation from him and he calls him his son, but in actuality he's not his biological son. It's just like a DNA thing that he came up with or something, but definitely something fishy there that they both have the same name, Shin. And also with finding out that his name is Shin as well, the father, kind of starting to throw the Shisui thing out the window, even though last week it felt very, very evident that it was Shisui. This week it's kind of like, I don't know. Not to mention, do you really think Shisui Uchiha would have ever gotten taken out from behind by Sakura Haruno? And the fact that they were taken out fairly easy. I wouldn't say fairly easy, because at the end of the day, Naruto did take a sword to the stomach. Sasuke, even though it was because Sado that was there, he did kind of get messed up as well, taking all those shuriken to the back and whatnot. Ultimately, I would say that I think that the only thing that is really central to the main threat that is supposed to be, surpassing Kaguya or whatever, is that tiny little Juby thing that seems to be in control of all this. The rest of them, I don't think so. I really don't, because at the end of the day, the main reason why they were getting Naruto and Sasuke was because of the tricks that they had. It wasn't that they were faster, it wasn't that they were this or that, because Sasuke on his own looked like he was taking care of things, but it was just the little tricks that they had with the eyes, which obviously they're not all their eyes, because how the hell he has, Sharingan everywhere. So I think that they're just like some fodder that this little Juby shit collected and is, going forth with his plan. Now, the whole thing with the Uchiha thing, we still have to find out why is he obsessed with Uchiha and say he killed Itachi. It still could very well be Shisui, but the fact that he's calling himself Shin and everything is kind of like, if you're Shisui Uchiha, just say, my name is Shisui, And speaking of Sasuke taking those shurikens to the back shows yet again that he does care for his daughter. He was selfless in a heartbeat, even though he hasn't seen her in bajillion years. Ultimately, he does genuinely care for his daughter. So I gotta take back a lot of the comments I said about him being a dick. He genuinely didn't know that that was his daughter. He was on a mission. Yeah, granted, he could have called or whatever, but ultimately, in the face of danger, he immediately throws himself. So Sasuke, not that bad of a father as I, previously had thought. It's ultimately just he was doing a mission and could have been a little bit more active, I guess. And yet again, I just gotta mention about Naruto taking the sword to the stomach. Damn, bro, how much have you been enjoying life that you would let something like that happen? Again, it was by surprise, but I am just shocked. Hokage Naruto getting tricked like that. While Sakura did have that epic moment with the little epic line or whatever, I gotta say, yet again, Sakura seems as though I was looking at the panels a couple times because at first I thought, okay, she must have just made light work of the Uchiha, you know, whatever, all of them, because obviously she got dragged to the lair and they were surrounding her or whatnot. But then I looked again, and yeah, they're still surrounding her at the end when she's at the operating table. So it looks as though she's being forced to do some sort of surgery that will cost little Shin his life. And Sakura goes from epicness to she's in a pickle yet again, that she's, you know, surrounded and she has no choice, which I honestly think, based on what I saw in this chapter, she probably could take on most of them. I think it's just that she's outnumbered or whatever, and her speed isn't that great or whatnot, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sakura could take them out. But the fact that she's actually being forced to there, maybe she's not confident enough, or honestly, maybe she can't take them. And with all that being said, to sum things up, chapter was a bit too fast, honestly. It's just like the fight came and went. Sakura already is, you know, captured and whatnot and doing the surgery, and I guess to a certain degree it kind of shows the character a little bit of Shin's father, of how he don't give a fuck about his son using him as a shield, saying I don't care, do the transplant, I don't give a shit what happens to him. So it showcases a little more of how ruthless these motherfuckers are, but it was just really, really fast. Sakura had an epic moment, so I give respect to that, showcasing Sasuke's love for his daughter, and ultimately it's just like, these two in particular, Shin, they got handed pretty quick. Like, Sasuke was already, if it wasn't for the tricks, easily gonna take them out. Not easily, but for the most part gonna take them out. So you bring that, and then the fact that they got taken out by Sakura Haruno, it's like, what the you know? So they're not really the big threat that has been mentioned. There's more so something to do, I'm guessing, with that little Juby. So good chapter for the most part. Honestly, I just wish the fight was a little bit longer, maybe a couple extra chapters. Also, the fact that they got taken out pretty easily and they already need surgery or whatnot kind of speaks volumes about these characters, even though, you know, they took like shurikens and all this other shit to the stomach and whatnot. I think that they should have had a little bit more if they were supposed to be credible threats, but then again, who knows if they're not actually the big threat that, you know, we've been hearing about. So there's that. 7.5 out of 10 for this one. Just really wish things would be a little bit more, you know, extensive, more detail to it, but I think Kishimoto, like I said last week, just wants to get it done. Let me know what you guys think of this chapter. First of all, do you give respect to Sakura Haruno for what she did? I gotta. Honestly, I have to. As a reviewer and as a fan of the series, when somebody does something epic and cool like that, even though afterwards she got, you know, sucked into the vortex or whatever with the little piece of shit Juby, ultimately, she did her thing. So I give props to there. Also, what do you think about Sasuke saving Sarada? Does that cement 100% that he's not a bad father to you, or are you still kind of on the fence because he never called? And what do you think about Shin and his pops? Are they crusty or not crusty? I will say they were sort of giving it to Sasuke, even if it was tricks and whatnot that the father was using, but ultimately they got taken out by Sakura, even if it was a sneak attack. I mean, you have eyes in the back of your head, motherfucker. Where were you looking? And your overall thoughts of the chapter? Good stuff, just way too fast, and honestly, Shin and his pops, they're borderline into the crusty zone. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm Netherworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.